Hello everybody, welcome back. In between episodes I did go through and get some more healing items. I got some brass knuckles for us. Nobody else really needed anything new right now, because there's not really much of an upgrade for anything. But let's go ahead and get this finding a serial killer job started. Head to the Wampoa Garden to discover who's killing the Wampoan elders. And of course we're going to take our, natural crew. Outsider. Wampoa Garden. A carnival of chrome and neon, rife with every manner of technology and artifice one can imagine. The entire area has the feel of a night market, save that chips are sold in lieu of steamed buns and vendors hawk the latest drones rather than folk art. Something stalks these streets, hiding just out of sight. It stalks the Wampoan elders, the leaders of the band of tech-savvy squatters that have claimed this neighborhood as their own. The streets smell of ozone and fear, and those Wampoans you pass in the MTR station have a haunted, furtive look in their eye. While the killer is struck only at the elders thus far, it may only be a matter of time before ordinary residents are menaced as well. Creepy stuff. Okay, so we're gonna give... Oh, so she's locked to 2 of those per mission. That's awesome. He's got those 2 per mission. I mean, she can get one of these. And one of these. He can get some more granadas. Nope, go back to me. There we go. We can get another health pack. We can get a Doc Wagon trauma kit, because why not? We have extra spells also. I bought Nerve Strike. So yeah. The streets of Wampoa Garden are slick with rain, glittering under the neon glow of myriad signs and holographic displays. The sky reflects the same glow, painting the white apartment blocks with the sickly orange of sodium streetlights. The smell of grilling meat mingles with other, rarer scents. Ozone, engine oil, and high-tech fabrication facilities. Despite the hour, there are plenty of people out and about. You can hear the calls of street vendors and touts, urging people into their stores. Isabel wrinkles her nose, scowling darkly. She wraps her arms tightly around her chest, staring off into the distance. Is there a word for feeling nostalgic for a place you can't wait to leave again? I don't miss this place, but I miss the feelings I had when I lived here. Wadade, maybe? Isabel shakes her head. No, that's not it. It's close, but... She lets the sentence trail off into nothingness, clamping her mouth shut for a moment. Isabel sighs heavily. This place seemed like heaven after the walled city. Like the whole world had unfurled in front of me, and anywhere I turned there was the promise of a good life. Turned out this place was just as crappy as everywhere else. Everyone was still in it for themselves. Gobbet claps a hand on Isabel's shoulder, who flinches and pulls away. That's a great life lesson, it is. I'm serious. At the end of the day, life's a raw deal. You've got yourself and a handful of friends, and that's it, nothing else. Duncan casts a sidelong glance at Isabel and Gobbet, shaking his head. You got some strange ideas about life. Sure, life's a meat grinder, but come on. There's gotta be more to life than just surviving. Does there? What makes you the authority on that? Isabel waves a dismissive hand. Been talking about this anyway. Isabel turns towards you and points down the street to your left. We're looking for the Wampoan elders. They're going to be in the Wampoa itself. That's the big ship down the street. That's the mall shaped like a boat, right? Isabel nods, lips pursed. That's the one. Somebody thought it would be clever to make a uniquely shaped mall. Alright, cool. But you know what we gotta do first? We gotta go explore. Heard he's not just dead, he's been all cut up. The elders don't want anyone to go inside without their permission. Must be pretty bad in there. Anything further down the street, or is this like the whole map and I should not be exploring this end yet? That looks like it's gonna be a fight. just want to do a quick little lap. Well, I guess let's go into the Wampoa. You know, a game like this just not having a bunch of lootable items, just laying around, it's kind of bogus to me. Because, like, what do you mean there's not just random piles of money and gear just laying around? Elder Ing. This oracleman is festooned with small circuits, tiny TRID screens, and speakers. The TRID screens display snippets of TRID broadcasts from every corner of the world. The tiny speakers play counterpoint with a susurrus of voices speaking Sparethial, Punjabi, Kazakh, and other languages. I'm sorry if I butchered any of those names. Her expression is haggard, and she fidgets with her fingers as you approach. Welcome. Welcome to the Wampoa, my friend. I am Elder Ing, and these are Elders Tang and Ip. Ing gestures to the elf and human, who each incline their heads respectively. Thank you so much for answering our request for help. We had nowhere else to turn. The least I could do. Under Tang's skin, glowing tattoos writhe and change shape. Tigers become cranes and move on to dragons. We're under threat. One by one, we elders are being hunted by some monster. You may have noticed when you arrived there's been another killing just tonight. Ip crosses his solid chrome arms. Holographic readout stands constantly over their surface, displaying diagnostic information about their state, operating temperature, servo pressure, and a variety of other minutiae. He looks past you toward Isabel. Prodigal daughter, returned once more. Didn't expect to see you back aboard the Wampoa in my lifetime, Isabel. When you disappeared, Elder Yatunde was very put out. Glad you're still alive. When you chose to walk down your own path, I was disappointed, but I still understood why you had to leave. Ip pauses, tasting the air as he chooses his next words with care. I hope my lessons have helped you prosper. Didn't expect to be back either. Work takes you places, though. Isabel shrugs. A moment later, she places a hand on her pistol, eyes trained on the Ip's shoes. I don't cart this around for fun, Ip. The lessons kept me alive. Isabel blinks several times and then looks up at Ing, her expression clouded. Where is Yatunde anyway? Expected her to be here. Ing shakes her head sadly. She reaches out a hand toward Isabel, who shrinks away from it. She's dead. So Agane Nakamura and Tong was killed just tonight. So much blood. You'll have to stop this from continuing. Isabel's expression remains impassive, but her knuckles grow white as her hands ball into fists. That's what we're here for. We'll stop the killings. Thank you, Isabel. Ing lifts a hand, wiping away tears from her eyes. Oh man, so much reading. What can you tell me about the murders? They started 2 weeks ago. The first to go was Gan. We found him in his apartment, eviscerated. Ing swallows, grimacing at the painful memory. He'd been torn apart. His head had been ripped completely off, and most of his skin flayed away. There was so much blood it took us a week to clean out his apartment. Tang nods, running his palm over his forehead. The rest have been the same. Always at night, always dismembered. Each scene is like a nightmare. And every time, nobody has seen anything. It's like a ghost. What happened to Tong? The same thing that happened to the rest of the victims. Evisceration and dismemberment. We sent a guard to keep people out of his shop, but he'll let you in. When did he die? Sometime early tonight. He locked up his shop, but Ip stopped by to ask him about some skill chips he had. The door was unlocked and inside. Ing lifts her hands helplessly. She opens her mouth, but no words come out. Seeing Ing's inability to continue, Ip takes over. Inside looked like a bad horror sim, just like all the other murderers. It had to have happened after sundown, because I saw his shop was open when I was on my way to get some noodles for dinner. Why didn't you call the police? The Hong Kong police force isn't welcome here. They tried to force us out several times before. Come hunting for someone to pin a crime on. Holy crap, I cannot focus on these texts today. We do a lot of favors for local gangs and triads. You know, the Matrix security, fix up the gear, and make sure they have access to the Hong Kong Shadowlands hub. Too valuable a resource for them to lose. So they protect us when the HKPF or anyone else decides we're an easy target. They handle our physical security, and we make sure to send the message via the Matrix. The last time the HKPF made trouble, we started airing the assistant chief's dirty laundry over the trid. They got the picture and backed off. Have you made any enemies lately? Ing shrugs helplessly. Not that I can think of. We keep to ourselves. We buy and sell technology. We're not mercenaries or criminals. We're merchants and deckers. And even if someone was cheated in a deal, this kind of response is unthinkable. Whoever did this, it wasn't human. The violence and savagery. It's a monster, whatever it is. When you met humans and monsters too, Ing. Just because it's horrible doesn't mean it's supernatural. What did the Wampoan elders do? Isabel snorts derisively. They make the rules and kick people out who don't obey them. They're a bunch of petty tyrants, that's what. You're being unfair, Isabel. Our laws are for the good of the community. Ing turns to address you. We keep the Wapoa and its residents safe. We review trade agreements with outsiders to see if they're good for the community. Provide a guiding vision, like a town council. Rules are... I'm just gonna say I respect that. I'm not trying to piss off the hand that pays. I'm glad you understand. This community is fragile and the authorities bear a lot of ill will. A single misstep could spell our end. I am the invoker of sprites. I commune with the spirits of machines, ask them for blessings, and pass those blessings on to the people here. I heal the sick and ensure the feng shui of our habitats is as good as it can be, given our confines. He's a shaman, that's all. He's just got some kooky spin on it. Claims your totem is some kind of all-encompassing machine god that lives in circuitry. Isabel pats her deck, looking at Ing. Ancient gods and ancestors are one thing. My deck? It's mine. I built it. The only spirits it's got in it are the ESPs I loaded up with. Ing gives Isabel a look of deep sadness. Just because you cannot see or touch a thing does not mean that it does not exist. Just because you do not believe in it does not mean it does not protect you from afar. I can't touch programs either, but at least I can prove they have an effect on the physical world. Your superstitions are just that. Bullshit. Isabel glances at you, jerking a thumb toward Tang. This guy treats drones like they're living things. What exactly do you do, Tang? Tang extends his arms, palms up. As you watch, the tattoos therein shift into a complex mathematical formula. I'm the first and glorious servo. I study patterns. Prepare. Oh, I cannot get this guy's voice down. And teach others how to attune themselves to the wonders of the automaton. Automation. Holy crap. Blessed Autofab is my shop in Purview, where we make the drones we use and sell. As for me, I serve as the resplendent voltage spike. Ib smiles crookedly. That means I shoot people who try to screw with us. It's a fancy title for head of security. That's all for now. It might be wise to ask the residents of Wampoa Garden if they've seen or heard anything. After you've gone to Tong's Sensory Carnival, they may have seen or heard things we have not. Good to know. All right. Porter Lamb at your service. The elders told me that you'd be coming. They tell you what happened to Tong? He got killed earlier tonight, yeah? Killed? Ha, that's rich. Killed is when a BTL head sticks a knife in you for your cred stick. Or the cops put 2 in your chest for not kissing up hard enough. This is something else entirely. This isn't killed. This is slaughtered like a fatted calf. Watch yourself. It's a goddamn mess in there. I don't want to know what it looks like in here. Oh my god. Tong's Sensory Carnival looks like a scene out of a B-grade slasher sim. The cloying scent of incense hangs thick and pungent in the air, emanating from the small shrine in the corner of the shop. Unfortunately, it does nothing to cover up the reek of death and clotted blood. Despite the ragged remnants of Elder Tong littering the floor, the rest of the shop appears to be in good order, at least at first glance. Nothing is broken, tipped over, or otherwise ransacked. As you're about to step further into the room, you glance at the ceiling and walls. The blood from Tong's body isn't just confined to where his remains lie. Drying blood is spread about the walls and ceiling as well. Holy crap, man. Don't like that at all. It's just... wow. Like, look at that, bro. can't even recognize who that is or what it's supposed to be. The walls are covered in splattered and smeared blood, most of which is hardened into a crusty congealed paste. Thick tracks of it run laterally. It looks like the blood has been deliberately smeared. Hey, jury duty. I don't know a whole lot about science or all that, but I know what blood looks like when it hits a wall. This isn't natural. Somebody deliberately smeared blood all over these walls. See how it looks like it's got paint trails? It's because somebody used tongs parts like a brush. So they painted his walls with blood. Why? Do I look like a psychologist to you? Maybe because they're a freak. Maybe they're one of those sick serial killers that sees their murders as art. I got no clue. All I know is that all I know is what normal blood looks like on a wall, and this ain't it. Some people have a bad grasp of art. And this guy in Kwantung who used to make music out of stray radio static and panic button calls called it crisis wave. It was awful. Tong's body is a ruined mess. The destroyed ruin of his face is barely recognizable, and what is left of his body would best be described as savaged. All of his limbs have been torn off, and a pile of flayed skin lies next to the remnants of the Wampoan elder. The Wampoan's clothing has all but been reduced to rags and tissue by cuts and tears, apparently sustained during the flaying. At this point, the only thing holding what's left of his body into a semblance of human form is the hair-thin fiber optics of his cyberware. Gaba puts a hand over her mouth, speaking in an uncharacteristically serious tone. Sweet heaven, jury duty. I haven't seen anything like that since Auntie Wong tried to stash some cred sticks in a devil rat's nest. Takes a lot to turn my stomach, but we sure have our winner today. This is seriously messed up. I'll second that. This isn't a murder. This is more like, I don't know, a feeding frenzy. If it weren't for the skin, I'd say Tong stepped on a goddamn mine or something. Use astral perception to sense the body. Taking a deep breath, you allow your senses to expand into astral space. The colors of the room bleed away, replaced with the vibrant lights and emotions of the spirit world. Surprisingly, no emotions of fear or anger pervade the room. The abiding emotion of the room is steeped in I am so sorry, I cannot. These are big words for Elmo. Surprisingly, no emotions of fear or anger pervade the room. The abiding emotion the room is steeped in is one of perfunctory satisfaction, as if someone has accomplished an important task. It would seem likely that Tong was surprised. If he was not, it would be certain that you would feel lingering fear within the room. Whoa, really? Gobbet takes a moment to center herself and stares off into space. Shortly thereafter, she shakes her head and looks back to you. That's strange, jury duty. You're right, though. He definitely didn't see it coming. Leave the body alone. Oy. I better be getting paid a whole bunch of stuff for this. Tong's bathroom is immaculate and the drains are tiny. Whatever killed him didn't exit through here. Tong's desk drawers are open, and the safe that's built into one side has been opened. There's no sign of tampering, and the green light next to the word unlocked is blinking. Whoever opened the safe did it with a key fob. Inside are several blank cred sticks, but no sign of any with money on them. Holy crap. Looks like someone looted this stash. A guy like this would keep only empty cred sticks in his... Oh my god, I can't read today. I'm so sorry. Looks like someone looted a stash. A guy like this wouldn't keep only empty cred sticks in a safe. I don't know if it's because it's like super early when I'm recording this and I'm just not awake, but this is a Yamaha 95,000V SimSynth, a device for mixing and mastering SimSynth chips. Several drive bays are empty and all of the chip jacks are empty. The screen is flashing a repeated error message. Warning, requested files cannot be found. Please return drives to bay and try again. Have Isabel debug the SimSynth. You got this, Isabel. Isabel rattles out some commands on the SimSynth's keyboard, stepping away after a few seconds with a look of satisfaction on her face. There, I put the drive warning on suspend. It's in diagnostic mode only, though. Maybe we'll learn something, maybe not. Yamaha SimOS 5.23 System Diagnostics Check. memory, okay. Drive, error. Assist bus, okay. Beginning core dump. Please wait. Oh, sorry, I had to take a drink of water. Isabel studies the screen in detail as letters and numbers scroll by. Looks like Tong was cooking some BTLs here. He's hacked the peak controller output cutoffs. The delta levels on sim chips are usually about 4 to 5, 6.5 for Cal Hots. His delta peaks are pushing 12. That's brain-burning territory, That's brain-burning territory, jury duty. And all the drives and chips those BTLs were stored on are missing. I never liked Tong, but it wasn't because he was a bad guy. I just didn't like any of the elders. But if he was cooking chips at Delta 12, maybe he burned somebody he shouldn't have. Maybe they flipped their lid and came after him, or a relative did. Isabel gives you a serious look, tipping her head at the synth. The metahuman brain can't handle this kind of output. It'll shut down after a few of these. Whip! I think that's everything for that. And now we gotta go back outside. See if there's anybody here we can talk to. What do you got to say, Mr. Porter Lamb? Hey there, need something else? Looks like somebody went through Tong's things. Has anybody else been inside? Not since I've been here. But before Ip found him? Could have been anybody, really. Ip had a key to his place, but the lock's total crap. Anybody half decent at cracking mag locks could have gotten inside. What's missing? His BTLs, hard drives, and cred sticks are all missing. Sounds like the killer looted his place to me. All this talk of monsters. Yeah, sure, there are scary things that go bump in the night. But most of the scary bumps I hear are from handguns and gangsters. Yeah, see you later. I don't care what you do, you ain't gonna help me get paid. Zippy. This orc is busily snacking on a steamed bun as you approach. He wipes off one of his hands and sticks it out towards you. Hey, stranger, nice to meet you. Zippy Toe Tag at your service. How you liking Wampoa Garden? You're awfully friendly. You don't even know me. We've never met before this, but I know exactly who you are. You're my replacement. The elders had me autopsy what was left of Elder Gann and Elder Nakamura after they got ripped apart. But I didn't want to dig any deeper. So since I don't know you, and I can smell a Shadowrunner a mile away, you've got to be the outsider they asked to stop the killings, right? Zippy tilts his head back, obviously pleased at his amateur deduction. Nothing gets by you, does it? See, I have good eyes. A lot of good eyes, actually, if you're in the market for replacements. Only slightly used, and they only come from certified donors, I swear. A hearty belly laugh erupts from the orc, and he slaps one of his thighs in elation. Ah, man, I'd kill myself. Pretty funny. You a stand-up comedian? With jokes like that? Are you kidding me? I'm one of the only trained surgeons around here. I keep the other Wampoans healthy and got a practice down the road. Blind Chin's a pretty good cyber doc, but he's basically an implant specialist and that's it. How'd you end up here? I did my residency back in the USAS. Could have become a real MD too, if things hadn't gone south for unrelated reasons. Zippy opens his coat, revealing a cyber deck. He pats it proudly. I also deck a little, but I'm better at slicing skin than I see. Wampoa Garden seemed a good fit for me. So is it fairly peaceful around here? For the most part. Other than these killings, we don't have much by the way of problems. We do information security for the triads, and that makes us fairly impervious to anyone who wants to start trouble. Anyone starts something, we hit them in the matrix while our triad friends hit them in the meat space. Some small-time gangs have tried pushing in here before, but they backed off when they figured out they weren't just picking a fight with Tank and his guys, but with both the Red Dragon and Yellow Lotus. They got the message real quick. Well, what was left of them anyway. You must have a lot of customers. That's the chip truth. I have to charge to cover my costs and eat, but it's damn near free service. There's always a waiting list, but it's good, honest work. I like helping my neighbors in the community. We all look out for each other. If somebody messes with one of us, they mess with all of us. That kind of community is rare as gold these days. How many places have an ethos like us? Not the damn corpse, that's for sure. I lived a lot of places, done my fair share of shadowrunning, but this place is special. It's been a long time since I really felt anywhere was a real home. Zippy looks off past you, towards the Wampoa Garden streets. His expression grows wistful, like he's remembering something from a long time ago. I'm sure I'll move again, but not for a while. I'm not done with the city or these people. Let me ask you about Wampoa Garden. Sure thing, what do you want to know? What are your thoughts on the murders? There's a sharp intake of breath as Zippy shakes his head. Pretty gruesome business. Gan died from a broken neck. Looked like someone had wrenched it around and his arms and legs were cut off. Some skin flayed away too. Nakamura had his throat ripped out by someone with very sharp teeth. First I thought it was a devil rat, but the teeth marks were all from something with a humanoid jaw. I didn't look at you Sunday. From what I saw at a distance, it was the same story. Didn't see much point, since I'd seen it twice already. As for Tong, from what Porter told me, it was Gan and Nakamura all over again. You take a look at him yet? Yeah, it's the same as you described for the others. Zippy shakes his head sadly. Damn, I like Tong. The BTL business is unsavory, but the man had to eat, and his regular Sims were great. Generally all around nice guy, friendly with everyone. Never had anyone mad at him. There ain't no justice, let me tell you that. Can you tell me about the elders? Zippy laughs, shrugging. Well, they're an eclectic bunch, that's for sure. Where to start? Ing's the spiritual leader here. She's the voice of the Wampoans, I guess. A lot of her close friends are really more followers, since she's something of a priest for the machine spirits. Maybe it's a cultural thing for people who grew up here, but it's never called to me. Still, she makes a damn fine pot of tea. Ip's the muscle, and he has an encyclopedic knowledge of cyber and bioware. Definitely a good guy to have watching your back. Not too friendly, but you know how it is. You get a lot of cyber. People start wondering if you'll tear their arms off. Zippy makes a chopping gesture with one hand. He's got moves straight out of Blood Carnival 3, The Reckoning. Terrible movie, but great fight choreography. What about Tang? I don't know much about him, but I think he's got some kind of fetish for automation. Found him cooing over some trids of automated delivery drones in a warehouse once. He works with drones, has a shop called the Blessed Auto Fab. He was raving about the efficiency of the movement patterns or something. You already know about Tong. Ran Sims, BTLs, skill chips. He used to be a city planner before he had a nervous breakdown and got involved in statistical analysis. Zippy pauses to collect his thoughts. Nakamura came from Fukuoka and was interested in entertainment. Trid mostly. Spent a lot of time analyzing subliminal and ads. Then there was Magpie. She was the chief decker. Hot as hell against IC. And built her own hardware. Salty old woman though. Never met anyone who's quite as shrill or nasty as when she got mad. She was mad most of the time. Wait, nobody mentioned Magpie to me. When did she die? She didn't. Maybe a month ago she just up and disappeared. I went to her shop one day and she just wasn't open. Nobody's seen her since. Kind of a pain in the ass too. She owed me some of the new Analyze software she'd picked up. Never heard of Magpie either. She must be one of the newer Wampoans. If she was the decker, she would have replaced Elder Gao. No surprise there. Gao was older than King Chi Huangdi's terracotta warriors. When I was learning decking from him, he could barely get out of bed. Still fast as hell in the Matrix, though. How can he be new and an elder? Isabel rolls her eyes. It's a stupid name. It doesn't actually have much to do with the time spent in the community. It has something to do with it, sure, but it's mostly about how skilled you are. How good your connections are and how much you can help everybody else. Should have called them experts or something. Bingo! That's exactly it. She was only here for about 3 years, but she knew a lot of people all over the Matrix. In Shanghai and Beijing, all kinds of places. That plus her skill meant she was just shoo-in when Gao died. Where do you think she went? No idea. One day she was here, the next, poof. At first I thought she was just on vacation, since she had mentioned wanting to see the Kingdom of Hawaii someday. But it didn't feel right. She would have at least told me she was leaving. It seems mighty suspicious to me. Nobody else seems to care what happened to her. Probably because she pissed them all off so bad. Is there any place you think I should start looking? You might want to check out her shop. It's all locked up, but the other elders have a spare key. Couldn't hurt to look around. And even though Magpie was always butting heads with the other elders, they wouldn't have any reason not to let you in. What did they argue about? Magpie and the others never saw eye to eye. She was contrary for the sake of it. Most of the rest had a grand vision for what they wanted this neighborhood to become. Magpie just wanted a deck. She was only an elder because they needed someone with her matrix chops. The last big argument was between her, Ing, Ip, and Nakamura. It was over something relatively trivial. I think Nakamura wanted to expand the pirate trade business into the Matrix, and she just absolutely refused. Why did she refuse? She said something about not using up valuable bandwidth for trivial entertainment bullshit. Anyway, it went from there into this rant about how she wasn't going to let Tang expand his drone business any farther because it would get too much megacorp attention. They accused her of blocking them just because she could, which is probably true. Lots of screaming. No wonder they were mad. Yeah, you're telling me. I like the old coot, but she was a handful at the best of times. Everybody needs her matrix skills for their business to run properly. There are other deckers, me, Say, or Joe, or Mo Janebi. But she had the infrastructure. If their project didn't interest her, she wouldn't even give them the time of day. She's a real hardhead about having her time wasted. She figures that if she's not interested in something, it has no value objectively. Kind of a major blind spot if you ask me. Could you let me into her shop? No can do. Not because I don't want to, but because I just don't have the key. You have to get it from Ip. He's taken over all the Matrix infrastructure maintenance since Magpie disappeared. Not as good at it as she is, or as I am, but they're not going to let anyone who isn't an elder take care of that kind of critical stuff. See you later, Zippy. So let me go ahead and put this together. Magpie was basically telling them, hey, for the sake of everything here, we gotta, like, not do this. Since she was into all that other stuff, I guarantee her stuff got spiked with the, like, brain rot that the one guy was making, made her go crazy, and now she's, like, ritualistically killing these people. But that's my theory. So let's go ahead and talk to the rest of them. We'll get the key, and then we'll head to Magpie's shop. Demergo. Man has a tired, world-heavy demeanor about him. His eyes track your movements with a penetrating, critical precision. Something about him, the lines about his eyes, perhaps, make you suspect he's seen a lot of terrible things happen. He lifts his cup of cheap soy calf as you approach. Let me guess. You're the freelancer. You're the freelancers the elders are paying to look into the murders around here. That's right. Who are you? Call me Demergo. I'm not one of the Wampoans, but I've been here long enough that they don't think twice about me being here. Demergo drains the last of his soy calf in a large gulp. So what have you found so far? What's it to you? Professional curiosity. I used to be with the New York Police Department as part of their thaumaturgical research division. Part of the CSI branch, except I did the magical investigation while the other guys pulled prints and checked blood samples. Demergo tosses the soy calf cup toward the nearby garbage can. It bounces around the rim and rolls inside. When I hear about shit like this happening, I keep my ear to the ground. Old habits, you know. So why aren't you investigating it? Oh, they ain't asked me to look into the killings after the first murder. She couldn't afford my fee, though, so I took a pass. Not just the money, either. Demergo shudders, folding his arms across his chest. You see that stuff day after day. You pay a price, it eats away at you. You know what it feels like? You know what it's like to feel all that sickness and anger every day? To be asked to pick up a murder weapon or relive somebody's death? Feel it going into your neck? Pleading in the voice of a dead woman for her killer to spare you? These days, I'd rather interrogate the living. Thanks. What are you talking about? I can read objects. It's called psychometry. A little trick I managed to pick up. Don't really know how. I hold something, I can tell you what happened to it. Who owned it, how it killed someone, if someone loved it or was afraid of it. Useful, but it'll tax your heart. And before you ask, no, I'm not going to read anything you find. I already told Ing I didn't want any part of this. If you want advice, I'll give you that, but I'm not getting drawn in further than that. So aside from that, is there anything I can help you with? Tong wasn't afraid when he died. He was caught by surprise. Demergo arches an eyebrow. That's not what I would have expected. With the amount of mess that he'd seen, the victim should have left behind a hell of a lot of fear and pain. You sure? Very sure. Tong died tonight, so the astral signature hasn't had time to fade. There was only a sense of perfunctory accomplishment. And it sounds like this wasn't a crime of passion. A planned attack would have had that kind of resonance. In my experience, it's possible the gore show is to throw off anyone looking for the actual reason. Demergo closes his eyes and starts to nod. Yeah, if I wanted to kill someone and get away with it, I'd try and point the finger at some kind of monster. Demergo opens his eyes and smiles a thin, humorless grin. Basic investigation 101. It's usually the simplest explanation, but don't discount other possibilities. Think the mess wasn't incidental? It's a possibility. Ask yourself this. If the mutilation happened after Tong's death, why would a killer perform that kind of ritual? Serial killers who engage in that kind of ritual don't feel perfunctory about it. In my experience, it tends to feel more like they're taking communion. Well, it's a religious or sexual feeling most of the time. This didn't feel that way. I don't think the killer is actually pathological. What do you know about the murders? They started a couple weeks ago. Elder Gan was the first to go. That's when Ing asked if I could look into them. He was ripped apart, arms wrenched out of their sockets, skin flayed away with a razor-sharp knife. The rest have been the same. Whatever did it sure didn't care about it being a clean death. Murgo lowers his voice, leaning in toward you so that you can only hear that you can hear. The funny thing is, the Hong Kong police force was out here a few weeks before that, maybe a month ago tops. I know that doesn't seem like much, but the Wampoans don't usually let police in here. That by itself is odd enough, but it gets even stranger. The officers were loaded for bear too. Big guns and heavy armor with NBC seals. The works. They went into the parking garage near here. There was some kind of gunfight. Never made it back out. When backup showed up, the Wampoans chased them away. Why would they let cops in and chase them away? It's exactly the kind of question you should be asking, that the elders refused to answer when I asked. Demergo shrugs. Well, take a look for yourself if you want. Watch out, though. A gang's taking up residence in there, dealing drugs and BTLs. They call themselves the Red Spear. Not too violent if you don't push them, but be careful what you say. See you later. I'm pretty sure they're going to have roughly the same thing to say about all the Wampoans, but I do want to attempt to talk to everybody else in the next episode. We'll probably investigate the spots that have been shown. Mojanebi. The man in front of this stall is rooting through a box of music chips with the swift fingers of someone who knows what they're looking for. Behind him, a music player pumps out a constant stream of distorted atonal music. The stall's proprietor is nowhere to be seen. Can you believe this? They got 4 bootlegs at Echelon 60, the unreleased Enoch Ian Keys double chip show from Brazzaville, but absolutely 0 chips of Shotgun Bloom. This stall stuff is purely second rate. Hey man, don't get down on Echelon 60. I saw them when they played the unlicensed show at the old Choco Tart factory out in Junyuan. The show was amazing, even if the police had to break it up midway through the second set. The music aficionado waves his hand dismissively. The show might have been great, but come on, Echelon 60's old news. They're already being mainstreamed. I saw a trade ad for the new Mitsubishi Astro scooter, and they were using Main Volt Under Bus as the backing music. Made me sad, I tell you. The Decker inclines his head politely towards you. Mojanebi, at your service. Decker, technologist, music fan. You're not from around here, are you? You don't hold yourself like a native. Not Wampoa Garden, no. Mo runs a hand through his hair, shaking the collected rain off of it. I thought so. What brings you out here? I'm trying to figure out who's killing the elders. The Decker pauses a moment, face falling. Oh, that's a nasty business. Her tongue died tonight. I don't know who or what they pissed off, but it seems like a really bad scene. I'm trying to keep my nose out of it. Still, I like this place. Is there anything I can do to help? Know anything about the murders? I'm trying to stay as far away from it as possible. I'm not connected enough to hear anything important, and all the talk about monsters is just plain dark. I'm not afraid of monsters, but I don't want to get their attention. All I know is that a couple of months ago, we had elders Nakamura, Yatunde, Gan, and Magpie, and now we don't. Ooh, hiccups. Heard about Magpie. Sounds like she was kind of vicious. To be blunt, she's a hateful, shrewish old badger of a person. It was always her way or the highway. She'd butt heads with the other elders over damn near everything. The last fight she had was with the Tang over something or other. I guess she ended up throwing some of his micro drones into a deep fryer and threatening to kick his ass around the block. What was her line of business? Matrix gear. Her shop's called the Jack Point. Not very imaginative, I know. She always had the hottest programs, best chips, and made some killer decks for anybody willing to pay her rates. It cost plenty of Nuyen, but she was one of the best in the business, at least in Hong Kong. If you want to know more about her, you should talk to Zippy. He's one of the only people around here who got along with Magpie. You can probably find him at the NTR station. He loves the steamed bun cart over there. See you later, Mo. Okay, so I think we got... I'll talk to this guy and the other one. But I think we got enough, like, general information. I don't want to keep asking about the elders and personal stuff like that. That guy looks cool. Breaker Huey. An imposing troll stands in front of a stall, overflowing with weapons of all sorts. Pistols, rifles, and even brass knuckles overflow onto the rug around him. Oh there! You look like a man who understands the value of self-defense. Breaker Huey at your service, and I can promise how I can help you defend yourself. What do you say? Want to take a look? Show me what you have. Ooh, a shot glove. An armored glove. Strength +2. May do AP damage on critical hits. Allows for an enhanced stun attack on a 2-round cooldown. I'm actually going to buy that for myself. Looking for information. Yeah? Tell me what you want. Maybe I can help you out. Know anything about the murders? Just that elders have been getting hacked apart. I've tried to stay away from it all. No sense painting the crosshairs on my own forehead, right? The troll shrugs indifferently. I'm nobody important, and I aim to keep it that way. You know anything about Elder Magpie? Never met her, thank God. She ran with the Deckers mostly, since she dealt in chips and software. I heard she was hard to work with. I think the phrase I overheard was that she shrieked like a heartbeat with a fresh corpse. I don't know, you should ask Zippy though. He's a sharp one with a deck, so he'd know her better than most. Aside from Tong, who slings the BTLs around here? The Red Spear Gang. They run up in here sometimes, but don't cause any trouble. Check out the parking garage south of here, though. They usually hole up in there. Step light, though. If they don't know you and you cop an attitude, they'll put you in the ground. Funny thing, I heard there was a shootout with some Hong Kong police in the garage a month ago. I was away in Beijing at the time, so I didn't see it directly. But everybody here was talking about it when I got back. Why is that funny? Because we don't let the HKPF in here. Most times. We shoot at them if they try. Every time they come in here, it's bad for us. Because they're always looking for a scapegoat. Why would the elders let them in? Nobody knows. I'll see you later. Alright, let's go talk to the old man. This dumpy looking man is busily hawking a variety of grilled spherical treats of various sizes. Some are sold individually, some are skewered on sticks, and some are packaged up in sets of 4 or 6. A sign on the front of the cart reads, Keita's 1 yen yatai. A cacophony of small trid screens are attached to the cart, each playing a different trid show. Interested in some dango, takoyaki, maybe a nice nickel mine? It's a pork bun with a Japanese twist. Any kind of tasty Japanese treat you can imagine, I've got it. Maybe some curry fish balls at your speed. Keita'll give you a heart's desire, providing that desire is on my menu. Fish balls aren't really my thing. What's wrong with you? You don't like anything good. Thinky tofu I could see, but curry fish balls are the grease that makes this city's engine turn. Want to feel like a local, don't you? Get some. Keita leans back, studying you intently. The trid projections from his cart cause his face to be lit in a constantly shifting array of rainbow hues. So what brings you to Wampo? God, my friend. Somehow I doubt it's just the street food. Looking into the killing of the Wampoan elders. Keita shivers, wrapping his arms around his body. I've been hearing a lot about that. I haven't looked too closely, though. It's just none of my business, you know. Got any thoughts on the murders? Yeah, ignore them. Keita shrugs indifferently. Saw the crowd down at Thong Sensory Carnival early tonight, but I didn't know the guy very well. I'm a Trid fan. He liked The Sims, not a lot of crossover between us. See you later. So there's the parking garage. I think we'll get the key from the elders, and then... yeah, next episode we'll go check out magpies in the parking garage and see what we can find. Who are you? Rainbow. The woman sports brilliantly hued hair that shifts colors, scintillating with every passing moment. She is powerfully built, a natural athlete, or someone who works out a great deal. Notably, a large shotgun rests on an arcade cabinet next to her. She affords you a short glance as you approach. When she speaks, you note a peculiarly lyrical accent to her voice. Something I can help you there with, friend? You're throwing off my game, and I'm trying to beat my best score. That Tank Warrior Europa? I haven't seen one of those cabinets in years. The woman's mouth twists up in a wry grin. Me neither. Managed to find this one near by accident. Heard the music and thought, hold on there, Rainbow. You know that tune. After a few moments, Rainbow's game is suddenly over, her tank obliterated by a barrage of air-to-ground missiles. She hisses her breath in through clenched teeth. Piss on your maw. Right robbery, that was. Right then. Rainbow shakes her head again and turns to face you fully. You don't seem like them Wampoans. They're all might touch, just, yeah? Maybe you are too, but you don't advertise it like they do. What's your story? Looking into the murders that have been happening. Ah, that's some nasty work. Bodies hacked up, chunks bitten out of them. Make sure you're loaded for something big and ugly, that's for certain. Where are you from? I can't place the accent. Born and raised in Dublin. Down on the banks of the Liffey. Spent most of my early life there working security on sacred spaces, you know. Historical sites or undeveloped land. The green movement was big in those days. It was a bit like being a park ranger, but sure didn't beat some dead-end desk job. Oh. Yeah, I changed her accent up on a whim. Get over it. Spent a lot of time around country Dublin in Wicklow. I always loved animals, and I found out being a ranger put me in close with them. It was a good time, yeah? Making sure the building new species like the bogies and centaurs didn't upset the ecology of Wicklow National Park much. Also kept the nastier bits of the each usage from running amok across populated areas. Oh, each wish G. And each wish G. Is that a demon horse? Oh yeah, that's right. They're cannibal horses, basically. Nasty buggers that drag people into bogs and drown you. Sometimes people call them kelpies on account of the water plants they pop out of. Anyways, as I was saying, problem was, I started to develop this wee knack, just a small thing. I keep magic from working when I'm around. Spells don't go, spirits fall apart, and the pirate critters get real feisty, yeah? To make things worse, this was around the time Liam O'Connor threw his coup and formed the Tir na Nog. With all his fancy talk about elves and ancient magic, it was a bit scandalous to have a woman guarding ancient sites that wasn't just mundane, but also killed magic around her, so I got fired. You're older than Tir na Nog? Bang on? And I don't look a day over 25, do I? Rainbow flexes one arm, grinning widely. I'm Irish, not one of them noggins. Pack of punters, the lot of them. Always going on about their ancestral lands and the glory of the past and all that bullshit. Saw them kick dozens of old Irish families off their land just because their ears weren't pointy enough. They didn't meet some stupid arbitrary criteria of old nobility. It was kind of the thing that brought back the IRA, just like the bad old days of the Troubles. The skivers of the new tier didn't pay for the land they took. They just had a pack of bullies with guns. Rainbow scrunches her face up into a disgusted sneer and mock spits at the ground. I've always been sympathetic to the little guy in a fight. They offered to pay me for my help, so I said yes, simple as that. So you became a terrorist? Don't be so dramatic. They fixed me up with a cyber stitcher and gave me a lot of the kit I've got in me right now, in exchange for going overseas to work for them. Smuggling, running guns, making contacts in Europe. Same kind of shite all revolutionary groups do. Seeing as how me own fam got kicked out of their house, I was glad to do it. I still do work for them these days, but there's a lot less of it. Lady Day cracked down on dissidents, but good. What are you doing in Wampoa Garden? Me? I'm a bit of a big game hunter these days. I get into strange places, look for some kind of paracritter I've not seen before, and then I put a bullet in it. Only the nasty ones though. No point in hunting a talus cat or such. It's only things like gargoyles, bar guests, and whatnot. All the work I did with them in my youth does a good job of keeping me alive. So she's basically a witcher. I was out in Jakarta last year, hunting one of them Indonesian vampires. You ever heard of them? Call them layak, or penanggalans, depending on who you ask. Their heads and guts come out of the body cavity and they fly around like a giant messy pile of pasta. Rainbow bears their teeth and pantomimes floating around. Took me a solid 2 months to track her down, but I did. I've actually heard about them because of Dungeon Crawler Carl. Once the job was done, I asked myself, okay, Rainbow, where's the best place in East Asia to find some action? To Hong Kong it was. All the key what's it here mean a bigger concentration of odd critters than you'd usually find in a city. Been spending a lot of time down in the storm drains these days. I've heard rumors of a rat king down there, where a mess of devil rats get all tied together into some kind of big awful rat beast. I haven't tracked it down yet, but I figure it's only a matter of time, yeah? Pats the barrel of her shotgun affectionately. See you later, Rainbow. Oh man, there's gonna be a lot of talking. Where are we at? Roughly at an hour. Alright, we'll talk to these last two and then get the key. Next episode, go check out the shop. Do all that stuff. Welcome, sir. Welcome to Quack Atelier, home of the finest clothing in Wampoa Garden. I am the owner, Master Tailor of Wing K Quack. How may I serve you today? Show me what you have. Ooh. So. Oh, we have the Street Monk outfit. That sucks. Ballistic cloth. That's got an extra armor point, so that's not gonna sell anything though. I don't have the money for it. Goodbye. The owner of the shop barely looks from his PDA while greeting you. His tone is of immense boredom. Welcome to Minvong Matrix Materials, aka MVMM. What can I get for you? Okay, so cool. He just sells drones and stuff. I'm not. Yep. Don't even have to talk to him. Oh, that was fast. Can I not be so big that I get stuck on everything? Thank you. All right, well, we're gonna call it there. We're gonna pick up next time. Get the key to Magpie's shop. Go check out the parking garage and maybe solve this murder. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. As always, remember to be kind, stay gorgeous, and take care of yourselves. See you in the next episode. Goodbye.